Okay, this is video 2 in my series on the Jesus baptism drink saga. So, why do I think the baptism is a drink? Well, because if you read the New Testament, Jesus is always offering a drink or making a drink, right? So you got the story where he's at the wedding and they run out of wine, and the famous miracle where Jesus makes wine from just water. But if you look at that story, what he does is he has people go and prepare these clay jugs, right, or these kilns or whatever they are, and so he goes in the back. We know that there's these jugs of water, and what I think is happening is he's putting something in the water, boiling it, adding something in there that is a psychoactive compound. And when they drink it, they're obviously becoming intoxicated, and they like it very much because they say that his wine is the best wine. It's obviously not from fermenting because he couldn't have fermented it, and it's, people chalk it up as a miracle, and it is a miracle. Don't get me wrong, but he knew how to make this miracle. He knew the ingredients on how to make this. You have the story of the woman at the well who he offers her the glass of water. He says, okay, well, if you drink this water, you'll be thirsty, but if you drink my water, you'll never thirst again. He's offering her a drink that if she takes this and consumes it, something will happen to her, and she'll never be thirsting for anything because she'll be complete. She'll be transformed. And the same thing with the lady who brings her 2 kids to Jesus. He says they're not ready to do this, and she thinks they are, and he explains that the baptism is a drink. I mean, it's all right there, and I don't understand how this could be misinterpreted as just getting dunked in water. Now, when they talk about baptism, they talk about the immersion, and what I think is it's not a literal immersion; it's a figurative immersion. Like when you consume this drink, you are immersed into something. This thing is having a powerful impact on your mind, and you're full on immersed into something that this thing is causing. Just this this state of mind, this consciousness that is just it's like untapped. And so what happens is you drink it and you have this mind-blowing experience, and what this does is it causes the repentance process, right? So you start thinking about, okay, well, what have I done wrong, in my life, and how am I, like an a-hole, or just a jerk, or how do I sin against people? And it causes you kind of to reflect and look in yourself and say, okay, well, I've been doing all these things to people, or I'm this way, and I'm really just kind of a douchebag. And it really kind of makes you look at yourself and causes that self, realization, that you need to be, a kinder, more peaceful person. I mean, Jesus figured all this stuff out, and it was revolutionary. But this has been repeated in history. It came back, very strong in the 60s, and it's still kind of alive, today, where people, they have these mind-blowing experiences, and they come out of the experience a totally changed person. And you can't deny that what they're doing is causing the change, just like it is in the Bible. I mean, it's the exact same thing. And so, the principles of the baptism drink are just basically the same as what like the hippies do and other people do when they consume something, have these mind-blowing experiences, and it causes this change in their life. And that pretty much is, I think, what the New Testament is about. It talks a lot about persecutions and secrets. I mean, there's a lot of letters that the Bible talks about, and it talks about Jesus and stuff. But then it talks about secrets. It says like, oh, we can't talk in this letter. We're going to have to talk in person. Well, if they're already talking about Jesus, what are they hiding that they have to talk about in person that they didn't put in the letter? You know what I mean? So there's obviously something going on that we're not we don't have the information on, because it's such a secret, that if somebody got a hold of those letters and talking about Jesus and talking about all these things, and Christianity is fine, but if you talk about this other thing that they're keeping secret, it puts themselves at risk, and their whole church at risk. So we're going to dive like deeper into these things, but this is part of the premise of this whole thing being a drink, and it's very, very mystical, very magical and very real, and it's not something that is out of our reach. I mean, we all have access to these things today. Thanks.